Hello and welcome to our presentation. My name's Slater and I'm from Slater Angling. Now when I'm fishing for carp on the surface or even the margins, I use a chopper float like this, usually flat on the surface. When I get a bite or a run, it's just going to sail away. But sometimes when the fish get a bit spooked, I use something like this, which is a bit of reed, which I'll varnish, and the same kind of thing will happen. It'll just sail away when I get a run. But in the night time, you don't have that luxury. So what we did is we developed the Firefly specifically for night fishing. Now there's nothing better than fishing at night for carp. You find that they come a bit more close to the bank, they're a lot more brave. The waterfowl have gone to roost on the side of the bank, so you don't get worried about them, taking your bait. And we find this Firefly has been very successful for us. But what we'd like to do now is show you some of the features of the Firefly. Well, here's the Firefly. Now, as you can see, it's a fully plastic enclosure, totally waterproof. What we don't want is any water getting to the electronics inside. At the top here, we have an LED. Inside, we have a fixed rechargeable battery. A little bit of electronics inside there. At this end here, we have a switch. Inside there, we have a cap with a USB connector, which allows you to recharge it whenever you need to. As you can see here, you can see the two switches. Accessing them comes from either this side here through the hole. Right, simply what you need is something rigid and thin. I use a bait drill, something like that. Put my hand through, switch on, and we're operational. Switch it off, simply the opposite. Do the same again, find out where it is, put your bait drill in there, and away we go, and it's now in the off position. And now you can see with the cap off the USB connector. It's a micro USB connector, allows you to connect to a mobile phone charger, a solar charger, or a power cell that allows you to dump power into the device itself. The rechargeable battery inside there will allow up to 1,000 charges. So if you charge this device, say 50 times in a year, it should last you up to about 20 years. And here's an example of how just to connect it. So the USB goes into this side, and this then goes into the actual solar charger. It's also possible to have something like this, which is a mains charger used on mobile phones. If you want something a bit smaller, we've also got this version here, which is a miniature solar charger. The solar charger is quite handy actually, because if you're camping overnight or you're doing a weekend session, you've got no power, or you're not near your car, you can use the natural solar energy to actually charge the device up without the worry of having to find a 3-pin plug somewhere. So here's an example of how it works. The Firefly will be sitting flat on the water. When you've switched it on, and obviously the power is working, what will happen is when you get a take, this will happen. It'll either run up and move along, or you're going to get some kind of vibrations as it moves. And you can see even in this kind of light level, you can actually see the LED come on. Now, supply this in a yellow LED, and the reason is because there's a possibility that you might overcharge the device. Right, now you can see a typical setup. We've got a solar charger, and we've got our Firefly connected up. What we've done is we've actually left this time the power on. So you can see what happens is if you have it operational like this, the LED then glows orange. What's happening is the current is far higher from this device than the actual battery. So what you'll do eventually is you'll burn out the LED. That's why we state that you must switch off the Firefly in the off position before you actually recharge. Otherwise, there's a possibility that you leave this on in this position, the LED inside will just die out, and it'll be no good after that. We have a couple of examples on how we've used this in different methods in fishing. One is we actually tied a bit of pole elastic to this rubber here, through this rubber, and then put a snap swivel at the end. The other method was we actually put a snap swivel through one of the holes at the end of the Firefly, which then goes through one of the rubber bands here and then connected to another swivel. The choice is yours at the end of the day. We'd like you to sort of investigate and find your own methods or your own preferred design of use. Right, a typical method that we use normally is the line straight through the two rubber bands just to hold it onto the line, and we find that's probably the most simple way of doing it. There's one thing that you must know is when you do get a take and the fish is running with it, what you'll find is the light will light up obviously because of the buoyancy of it, and then you can actually see whereabouts the run's going to be. So if the fish is going to start running left, right or away from you or coming towards you, you can actually physically see it rather than guessing about where it's going to in the dark. Also it'll assist you with whereabouts the fish is when you want to put the net underneath it. Well, that's the end of our video. I hope you find the Firefly useful. For more information about it, you can go to our website www.slaterangling.com. Full instructions, and these videos are also on the website too. Hopefully we'll be putting more videos in the future of the Firefly as it's been catching fish. Otherwise, tight lines and good luck. Bye for now.